Okay, so today we're going to talk about Fingerbots. I'm getting this in order to prepare my Seestar for remote connecting so that I don't have to be in its proximity to turn it on. And so this is the solution I found for that, and this is a Fingerbot. If you haven't seen one of these before, they come in different styles. This one kind of has a little arm that pokes down, and it has a little round circly thing right here on the bottom, and then it just pushes down, and then that pushes the power button. I also have a switch bot that is connected to this thermostat, and it has an arm that just comes out. I don't know if I'll be able to get a good enough picture, but there's a little arm that's right here, and then it just folds out and pushes this power button right here. And so this one is a little bit different, but it's the same concept. So this Fingerbot came in a pack of 2, and it came with a gateway. And the gateway just allowed you to connect it to be able to connect to it from afar. If you just have a switch bot, you can connect it to an app, and it will, you can set up schedules and things, but you couldn't go in. If you're out at a restaurant, you couldn't go in and just power it on without this gateway here. You could set a schedule, and it would turn on based on the schedule that is saved in the app, but you wouldn't be able to manually go in, and I'll show you what that app looks like here in a minute. It comes with some devices. It comes with these little riser things, so if the switch bot isn't going to hit your power button correctly, you could add those to it. It comes with some additional little guide things that go on this end right here. So if you have a different kind of switch, this round one, you can hook it around like a light switch, and then it just pulls the light switch up or down. And so that's what that round one is. And a few spares, because they are hard plastic, they probably break fairly easily. Then it came with all these little stickers here. Well, I was hoping that it would come with more a Velcro sticker, and it looks like all of these are just, you take the plastic off and stick it on somewhere permanently. Well, the problem I have with that is I don't want the switch bot or the Fingerbot on my Seestar permanently, because I want to be able to put it in the case. So the one that's missing out of here, I have put on my Seestar, and this is what I've rigged up for it. You see right here, this is one of those magnetic charger cables. I didn't bring the cable in here, but it just magnet attaches to here and then plugs into whatever charging device. And so if it gets tangled around a tripod or something and it gets too much pressure, it'll just disconnect this magnet, and then you won't be destroying the charging import thing on your Seestar or your cord. And so that's how I solved that problem of the cord getting wrapped around it and pulling too tightly. I didn't want it to strip any of the gears of the Seestar if the cord went underneath here and wrapped around. I didn't want it to destroy it. So I've attached this Fingerbot here, and I kind of did a jury rig thing here. And I didn't want to attach it permanently because I want to be able to put the Seestar in the case. And so I just used rubber bands. I used 3 of them. I could smell the rubber when I was stretching them this far, so I didn't feel safe just using 1. I used 3. I'm guessing they will break eventually, and I'll just replace them, but heck, it's a rubber band. They're pretty cheap. And it just goes around the base here. Don't, make sure if you do the same thing I'm doing, don't put it around the arm that's going to be moving. Make sure it's on the base of the Seestar. And then this is how it works. And then when I activate it, there is a button on the front, but I have turned mine to not activate with this button, just because while I'm videoing, it would sense motion and it kept going on and off, and I didn't want it to turn the Seestar on and off the whole time. And so let's see if so what I've done is I have the smart home app, and I already have that because that's how I control that fireplace bot that I have. And I didn't want to have separate apps. I also have a couple other smart plugs that it does the same thing on. It turns on a bedside lamp to our bedroom, and I just have it on a timer so it comes on when the sun goes down and turns off at 10 p.m., you know, that kind of thing. But I have installed this first Fingerbot here, and then when I come in here and I can just click this power button and you see it turns green, and then it's activated on the Seestar itself. And I will switch the view so that you can see what it does, but I got to wait for it to turn on, and then I'll return it off so that I can take a video of that. But that's how I control it in this app. If I click on the SwitchBot itself, you can put it to idle. You can change the settings. Whoops, click the wrong button. And this app is really kind of sensitive to that back button. The movement settings are right here, and that's where I've turned off that touch control. Maybe I'll turn it on for ease now that I'm doing it. You can change the mode, so you can do a click, a switch, or a program. And I just have it doing a click. And then this touch control activates or deactivates that button that is on the front of that little SwitchBot. And the down movement, you can set how far down it goes. And we want to make sure that it's going to go down enough and hold that button in. And that's what this sustain time is you're telling it how long you want that time, that little button to hold down the power button. Because you know on the Seestar, we have to hold that button down for a couple seconds before it beeps and then starts turning it on. So you can't just have it go click and it start up. You have to hold that button down a little bit. So if you are going to get you one of these, make sure you get one that you can control that sustain time. And then I think that's all I did in there. And then I can go back to, I'll change the video again back to the camera. All right, so you can see the rig I've done here with the SwitchBot. I turned the Seestar on its side just so we could see it better. But you do have to make sure that these rubber bands are holding it fairly steady. That's why I use 3 of them. You've got to make sure that this little arm is going to reach that button and that it's going to push it and hold it down for at least 2 seconds is what I've figured. And it is a little bit wobbly, but I'm thinking it shouldn't matter that much. The rubber bands probably won't last very long. I'll probably have to replace them fairly often. But this is kind of how it works. You push that button and then it holds it down, and then you see how it held that little delay second, and then that gives it a chance to turn on the Seestar. And then the turn off works exactly the same way, or you can turn it off from the Seestar app. That's kind of up to you. I do want to kind of figure out a better long-term solution. I did try some of those Velcro command strips, but they did make the button too high, and then the arm wouldn't hit it. I'll have to play around with the settings and see if I can get that to work out. But those command strip Velcro things made it just too high off the Seestar so that that button wouldn't push down on the power button. I did not try any of these, which are little risers, because I didn't want it to be that high. I mean, it was really just a fraction of a centimeter or 2 that it needed, and so I didn't really want something that thick. I guess I could try that setting in the app and change its length. I just don't know if it'll go deep enough. And so that's why I've rigged this up, because this is a more temporary thing. When I want to put the Seestar in its case, I just take off the rubber bands, remove the SwitchBot, and then it's easy to stow away. It does come with these, which are more permanent. I guess I could do those and then just tear it off every time that I wanted to put it in the case. But I don't think I really want to do that unless I can come up with something else, because I would have to replace these fairly often, because I would have to tear off the SwitchBot of these permanent things every time I want to store the Seestar in the case. And so that is what I've done, or turning the power off remotely, and that's what it looks like. I'll put a link to this. When I bought it, there was a pack of 2 of them with the gateway, and it was $59. But I did get it on one of those Amazon Black Friday kind of deals. But I'll put a link to it. I think when I first started looking at them, they were like $65 for the 2 switch bots and the gateway. But you can watch for them. They'll probably be on sale at different times of the year. Or you can buy just one switch bot if all you need is one. I needed 2, and I did want the gateway so that I can control it from away from home. So that's what a switch bot does, and bottom down. And that's how it works. And so hopefully that'll give you some ideas on how you can remotely turn on and off your Seestars, even if this saves you one step from having to go outside to turn it on and then go back in the house, wait for it to turn on and load, and then go out and do your aligning and leveling and all of that sort of thing. It could save you one trip outside. Anyway, that's what I am going to use, and hopefully that gives you some ideas. Wishing clear skies for everybody, and thanks for watching.